are powerless as a United States Congress. That's never happened before in American history. And we saw in Israel what happens when your adversaries see political dysfunction at home. They might attack. So what's happening right now, this civil war in the Republican Party, is actually a serious risk to our national security. That's why it's so important that we come up with some solution, even if the Republicans can't manage to nominate a speaker who can actually get the votes.
Well, my goodness, how many rounds do you think we're in for here? It looks like patience is running thin in the Republican conference, and I know, Congressman, that you're not in the room for those conversations, but a lot of folks are saying Jim Jordan's bid for speaker is already dead. Do you agree?
Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, Jim Jordan is one of the most extreme members of Congress, not just the Republican Party, just of Congress writ large. He's not passed a single piece of legislation in the entire time he's been in office. Think about that. Completely incapable of working with others.
I want you to qualify that for us if you can, Congressman, because we keep hearing that. Tell our listeners and viewers what that actually means when you look across the aisle and you see a member who's never passed a bill.
What it means is that he spends all his time doing something else. So actually passing legislation, which I mean, many would argue is our job in Congress, takes some work. It takes some work building trust with your colleagues, both in your party and across the aisle. We've been on this show before talking about my bill to establish 988 as a nationwide mental health hotline. I had to develop trust with a Republican colleague, a veteran, Chris Stewart from Utah. We had to work very hard to get it through the committee of jurisdiction, to get it through not only the House, but the Senate, and then signed by the president. That all takes time and effort. Jim Jordan's never done that, or at least he's never done it successfully. He's been here a lot longer than me. He's never passed a single bill that he has authored. And yet look at how much time he put into trying to undermine the election. That tells you a lot about Jim Jordan's priorities. He is so extreme that a whole bunch of his Republican colleagues won't even support him.
Some folks say you're talking about the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, and that is a slightly different and more specialized role, and he's in fact very busy. Of course, we know that he's busy on an impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden, Congressman. Where does that go? Is it on ice right now without a speaker, or can you give us an update?
No one knows. I mean, nothing. I mean, we're literally doing nothing. Nothing is happening right now in Congress. It's a perilous situation to be for our government. For our country. That means that we can't respond to an emergency. We can't do anything to support Israel in this war, or to continue supporting Ukraine in theirs. We can't even pass a simple resolution that just says, hey, we support you. I mean, the most basic things. And by the way, to your comment about Jordan being his new job as Judiciary Committee chairman, most chairmen of committees have passed a lot of bills, because that's what your job is as a committee chairman as well. So most people who get that job have done this, and most chairmen manage to pass a lot of bills while they're in that position.